Hi everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. Today we're taking a closer look at the McFarlane Toys The Walking Dead TV series Merle and Daryl Dixon Brothers 2-pack. This is something that I'm sure a lot of fans have been waiting for just so they can get their hands on Daryl Dixon. As the story goes, these figures in Wave 1 where Daryl Dixon appeared almost exclusively went to Walmart, and after a couple of weeks, I guess, on toy shelves, Walmart decided to pull the figures because I guess they found them too violent. And so they were like extremely hard to find. I actually got very lucky and had a Daryl. You guys know, you've seen some of my videos where Daryl's made an appearance. But I ended up selling my Daryl at the height of the craze for this, the desire for this figure. Sometime at the very beginning of 2013 or the end of 2012, I actually sold my Daryl figure for $175, and I think I ended up picking up my Hawkeye figure, paying for some of the parts for my Hawkeye Hot Toys figure with Daryl's money. But McFarlane has given us the figure again, so we get him in this 2-pack. He's almost exactly the same as he was before. He just doesn't come with the little string of squirrels that he had killed. But everything else, I think he comes with the pick, the axe, the knife, and of course his signature crossbow. And as we all know, there's going to be two more Daryl figures coming out, one in a 10-inch form we're going to be getting from McFarlane Toys later this year, and then early in January or February of 2014, we're going to be getting the Daryl Dixon figure, a new Daryl Dixon figure on his motorcycle in scale with these figures. So we also get Merle from Series 3, and Merle just looks identical except for he's got on a darker overshirt where it was tan before, now his shirt's blue, and he's got on a white t-shirt as before he had like an olive green, kind of really dirty, sweaty looking t-shirt. So, and we're getting another Merle in Series 5. In case you haven't gotten through all of the third season of Walking Dead, I won't tell you what type of Merle we're getting for fear of spoilers. So, these guys were $29.99. I picked them up at BigBadToyStore.com. There's a link below. But just this morning, I was in my local Toys R Us, and I saw the new wave of Series 4 figures from The Walking Dead. I saw these there. And they also had this 2-pack on the shelf. So I think, today is the 12th of October, and we're all the way here in Tallahassee, Florida. So if they've made it here by now, chances are, if you check your local Toys R Us, you'll probably see both Series 4 Walking Dead figures and this 2-pack. So let's take real quick, spin it around here on the back. All it does is it's just a cross sale of all the characters that are in season or Series 4. So you've got the Walgreens exclusive Rick Grimes, the Carl Andrea Governor, and both zombie, prison guard zombie figures. So cross selling for Series 4. So let's get these guys opened up and take a closer look at everybody's favorite crazy redneck brothers. Okay, so getting both of the Dixon brothers up out of the package. I gotta tell you, this set makes me very, very, very happy, because I never know when I'm getting into an action figure line if it's something that I'm going to continue to love well on down the road, especially nowadays. And you also don't know how long a toy company is going to support a franchise by making action figures for it. That's always going to be based on the property that it's based on. So, when Wave 1 of the McFarlane Walking Dead figures came out, the show was still trying to find its ground. It was still trying to find its footing. It had a pretty decent short first season, but it hadn't yet become the phenomenon that it is today. So I was very, very fortunate to find both the original Rick, the Sheriff Rick, and Daryl, and a biter zombie in stores. Actually, I found them in Walmart. This was right as Walmart was pulling them from toy shelves. And so I actually had the very first Daryl. I had no idea that guy would be so hard to find later on, and skyrocket in price, like he did. So I did have the original Daryl, and at the height of, I had opened him, as a matter of fact, I'll put a link down below in the About section, when I think I was reviewing the Wave 2 Rick and Shane figures may have been, I'm not sure, but I believe Daryl made an appearance in that video. I'll put a link below to show that I did have him at one point. But at the height of his, high price on eBay. I ended up selling my Daryl. He was open and complete, and I ended up selling him for about $170 on eBay. And I took that money and ended up buying most of the parts for my Hot Toys Hawkeye figure. So that was pretty cool. So I had Daryl and I got rid of him. He was a really horrible figure. His arms are really wonky, and we'll look at that when we zoom in. You know, his face sculpt wasn't that good. The paint apps are not that great on his face. So I really, honestly, I didn't mind getting rid of him for $170 when I only paid $13 for him at Walmart. So lo and behold, what happens? The show becomes a phenomenon. The figures are a huge hit because the show continues to be a hit. And McFarlane is just like churning out wave after wave after wave with no signs of slowing down. I mean, we're looking at, on the horizon, not only wave 5, but wave 6. And they're doing add-ons like this 2-pack, and then they're doing the 9-inch Daryl, then they're doing the Daryl on the motorcycle. I mean, this line is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Next to the Spawn line, this is one of the largest lines that McFarlane has supported over the years. So while I was happy to get rid of him at the time, I was very sad that after buying all of these McFarlane figures from The Walking Dead, I didn't have a Daryl because he's my favorite, like he is for so many people. So I was really happy to see this wave come out, and even though we just got Merle in the last wave, I was like, I don't care, I'm getting this set because I need Daryl. And boy, was it a good move, because not only did I reap the benefits of having the first one and getting rid of him at a high price, this one is much better. Now, why is this one better if it's the exact same figure? Because it literally is the exact same figure. And I don't even think they changed the face sculpt at all, the head sculpt. What I think they did was they did a better job painting it. The paint apps on this figure are phenomenal. And simply the paint alone, because I don't think it's a newly tooled head, simply the paint alone makes this likeness look more like Daryl on the show than the first version of this figure. Now, unfortunately, I can't compare the two, but this figure looks far more like the prototype Daryl that we saw originally than the actual final product that shipped to stores. So if I had both of them, I still would have gotten rid of the first one after getting this one, because the face likeness, the paint apps on the face are so much more spot on, and it makes it look a lot more like Norman Reedus. And what can I say about this sculpt about Merle? It's absolutely fantastic. Did I call him Merle? Merle. It's absolutely fantastic. It is very much Michael Rooker, and I'm a huge fan of him. As you guys may know or not, if you don't follow the podcast or check our webpage very often, Randall and I actually got a chance to meet Michael Rooker at the Atlanta Dragon Con over the summer, so that was pretty cool. He's a fantastic guy, very, very nice bloke, and very glad to have met him and got a chance to meet him. He's really nice. So let's move on to look at these figures individually and take a closer look at them, because they are absolutely fantastic. Okay, taking a closer look at Daryl, you'll see that he comes with both his pickaxe and axe, both of which he's wielded at some point in the show. Getting those out of the way, because that's not what we're here to see. You can see that he comes with a very nicely detailed crossbow. You can see that it's got two little metal hooks that have like a very soft rubber strap, so that kind of moves. I say that this figure is exactly like the original, and he is. The only difference would be in the accessories. He does have a knife here on the side that comes out of the sheath, but right here in this 2-pack version, he actually comes with a set of keys from the prison, as opposed to the squirrel lanyard that he came with originally. The other figure had a string that went around the chest, and on the back was a little pack of like sculpted squirrels, dead squirrels, from the scene where he had been hunting. But he just looks absolutely fantastic. But you take any kind of weapon out of this guy's hands, any weapon, whether it be the crossbow or these pickaxes, and you put his arms down by his side, and you will see where the silliness of this figure comes. Because for whatever reason, they sculpted his arms only to look good in holding the crossbow positions, or holding the axes over his head. I'm not sure why this decision was made. It was almost like we couldn't get his arms in a position to where they look good neutral, and I mean, they're very well articulated. There's cut joints, elbow joints, there's 2 joints on the wrists. So I'm not sure. I'm sure there was some testing done with regular length arms, and trying to get him in these really awesome positions, but for whatever reason, they just decided not to do that. And I hope you can see, you've got this arm is much longer than this arm. They just look wonky. Even his shoulders are on a slant. He's sculpted with that arm, that shoulder up higher, and that's to rest the stock of the crossbow up here against his shoulder. So yeah, I mean, it looks silly unless he's holding a weapon. You put a weapon in his hand, he looks fantastic. I'm really hoping that the next Daryl we get, the one on the motorcycle, is a little better articulated in the arms and shoulders, but I'm willing to bet because of him sitting on that motorcycle, his legs will be wonky. I'm sure there's going to be something. So we may not ever get a perfectly sculpted, great likeness of Norman Reedus as Daryl in this line. Maybe, maybe not. He is the most popular character on the show and in the figures, so maybe we will. So why don't we move on to Merle? Okay, so for all intents and purposes, this is basically the exact same Merle that we got in Wave 3. If I'm not mistaken, it was Wave 3. You can see that the sculpt is identical, and only the paint apps are different. You can see here, of course, the tan shirt versus the dark blue shirt. You can see the much dirty, sweatier t-shirt underneath versus the cleaner t-shirt here. The pants look like they're the exact same color, but you can notice, I don't know if you can notice this or not on camera, but let me tilt it down just a little bit. But the shoes are two different colors. His boots here are like a dark brown, and these are kind of like more of a greenish gray, sort of match the pants. But everything else down to the color and sculpting on Little Merle on each hand is the same. What I do like better on the original, other than the tan shirt, is that there's a lot more detail in the paint apps on the face. You can actually see here he's a lot tanner, the hair's a lot darker, he's got a 5 o'clock shadow going on, whereas this figure, his face is a little cleaner. His hair's a lot lighter, his face paint is a little more all one color, and the 5 o'clock shadow is a little harder to see. And we'll look at that a little bit better when we zoom in. But other than that, he's exactly the same figure. He also has a lot going on. He's got a clip belt on his leg that's got some tools kind of tucked down in there, which is kind of nice. They don't come out, they're not removable. He has a holster right here on his belt for drawing his pistol with his left hand, since the right hand, of course, is occupied. And he does come with a really nice rifle, but considering he only has one arm, this is pretty much it. He has to work it the same way he did in the show, and that's lay it across Little Merle. So that's why I don't mind handing this gun off to the governor from the new wave as well. Okay, so you can see what I was talking about, how as long as he has a weapon in his hands, doesn't look weird. Whether it's the crossbow, which can be tilted down, and he still look okay. Of course, it is kind of hard to get him to... This thing is, once you get it in, you just need to leave it in. Or whether he has one of these in his hands in either direction, either forward or backwards. Let's see there. So either way, as long as he has something in his arms, he doesn't look all that bad. But you take anything out of his arms, and then you get the wonky arms, no doubt about it. But hopefully you can see this. But like I said, I don't think the sculpt has changed one bit between the first release and this guy. I can't imagine that they would have done that. But I can promise you that the paint apps are definitely improved. The paint that's actually on his face, a lot cleaner, a lot nicer, and a lot more care has been taken to make it look more like Norman Reedus. So whereas the first release could have been just any sweaty guy, this is definitely Daryl through and through. So I'm really glad. I would like to know if the head sculpt has changed. I don't think it has, but maybe we could put an email into McFarlane and see if they'll answer us. But it just looks so much better just with that paint app. Now, of course, since he is using the crossbow and his shoulder is cocked up, you can see that his eyes are off to the right, and that is a nice little detail. But again, unless he's got it in his arms, he just looks like he's always looking at you sideways, which Daryl kind of is anyway, so maybe that's not that big of a deal. You can see that because of the bagginess of the pants, there is like wonky articulation. You can put these things in different positions, but it's just going to look very bizarre if you do. That's always been one of the problems with McFarlane's figures, is that they put so much detail in the sculpting of the folds that when you turn them in any kind of direction, they just look completely bizarre. So Daryl here suffers from Shane's problem. If you guys remember my Shane review, I'll put a link below in the about section, that Shane had the same problem. Like, you can move his legs were articulated in small ways, but they were only kind of sculpted to work in one position. So if you moved them, they just didn't work. That's why McFarlane toys are always more like statues than figures. But you do have a knife here on the side, and nice little touch. You've got the rag hanging out of his back pocket, which is really nice. So while I can't wait for the updated Daryl figure, this one's quite nice for the time being, and I'm just very happy to have him back in my collection after having him, getting rid of him, and then getting him again. So, we're not going to take a closer look at the Merle figure. He's exactly as the one we reviewed before. I'll put a link in the about section below. You can check that video out there if you want to look at his articulation, his detail, and everything. And I'm really glad McFarlane put these figures back out. This is a great set, and I'm pretty sure all the high-priced Daryl figures that were upwards of like $200 have now probably plummeted on eBay. So thanks for single-handedly destroying the second market on these figures, McFarlane. So that's going to about do it for this review. If you dug it, please like, comment, or subscribe, and be sure to check out our website, Ungrownups.com, where you can get your daily news drops, or you can check out our podcast, which is new every 3 weeks. So until then, peace.